Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix, and this is Car Coach Reports. So when I always talk about something you can drive year round, something that's all-wheel drive, something that's fun to drive, has great technology, I keep coming back to vehicles like this one. This is the 2020 Audi S4. Now, this vehicle is a lot of fun. I've owned a few S4s in the past, actually all the way back to like 2000, but this vehicle's got a new engine, some new drive components, some better suspension, improvements in technology, as well as design and some other goodies as well. So we're going to take this from Borrego Springs, where we are right now, with my buddy the elephant. He's going to stay here. We're going to go through those curvy roads all the way back to Palm Springs, and you're going to join us for the ride. Let's go. Under the hood is a 3-liter TFSI engine. It has 349 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. You want the torque. You buy the horsepower, but the torque is what's getting you off the line. And the way this is tuned, it has really good response. 0 to 60 time, 4.4 seconds, which is pretty good for a vehicle in this category. I've really been impressed with the overall responses because we drove it to get here, so we had a little bit of time with it. We're gonna have more time taking it out on the roads. It's a really tight fit in here. I wouldn't want to be the mechanic working on this, but I have to say they've done a phenomenal job. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do, 0 to 60. Here we go, in dynamic mode. Not too bad, 4.4 seconds. That's pretty good considering the other vehicles in this class. Of course, you're also balancing in that price point, and you can buy all kinds of aftermarket hop-up parts if you're really serious about putting this thing on the track. Let's get started with some of the things that I see right away from a performance standpoint. You've got paddle shifters if you wish to use them. You'll find that it will shift much faster than you can because of the DSG. That's a dual clutch, and I do like the fact that it rev matches on the downshift. So some of the other things that I really love about the performance aspect, because that's where we're going to start. We're going to go right into the performance. This vehicle has the new engine. It's much more responsive, and we've been testing this. And I should introduce you to my good friend Al Vasquez.
Hola, hola.
And he's Al Vasquez TV. You can follow him on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. He's got an unbelievable following, and you should follow him as well, whether you speak Spanish or not. He is all over the world with some pretty cool stuff that nobody else gets. So I'm always thrilled to hear what he's up to. I just go, where are you? So what do you think about the performance? You were just doing a 0 to 60 run.
I love it. I think, I say, if you want to have a sedan and you like to race and someday you want to have a sports car, this is the middle car.
Right. And when I had my 2000 S4, I had the kids in the back. I'd take them to school. I had the thing all hopped up, and you could put it on the track. You could put it on an autocross course. It was just a great car. And I drove mine year round, even in the winter, because of Quattro. So that's really how you're going to get the power to the ground. I think that's something that really makes Audi very special.
It is special. I love it.
Yeah, as far as from a performance standpoint, I wish it had a little bit get up and go, and that might be adding on the mild hybrid when they do that upgrade at some point, maybe 2022?
Probably.
Something like that. So for performance, I gave it a 9. Now, as far as handling, we had this thing all day long. And we're out in Borrego Springs, and we're driving our way back into Palm Springs. There's a lot of curvy roads that we're going to be hitting along the way, and you'll get to join us for that drive as well. I'm really impressed with the bigger brakes, because that has to do with handling. Because people don't think about that. They think of go power. They don't think of whoa power.
They have to be stopped somehow.
Right. Big red brakes. I really love that, especially on this white car. I think they stand out.
Fantastic.
Right. The Bridgestone Potenza tires are great. Good traction to the ground. Good handling. Now, again, if you're going to put on the track and you're looking to do something else, that's a whole other animal. We're talking about a car you can drive every day, year round. These are run flat tires, so there's no spare tire like there used to be. Everyone's getting rid of them. It's really frustrating, to be honest with you. From a handling standpoint, on the road, confidence, I have really good confidence in this handling. What did you think?
I do. I was driving it really fast, and you can feel the comfort. I mean, when it sticks to the road, I love it. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9 for handling. I mean, yeah, it could be a little better, but hey, it's got to be straightable too, you know?
Of course.
But when you're looking at some of the competitors, BMW and Mercedes, and they're offering in the same price point, You know, you can always step it up, and of course, you can always buy an RS anything, and you'd be even happier, but your pocketbook would be lighter. So we'll go into safety. There's some new safety features on this car, the pre-sense package, and everything that Audi puts in for collision warning. You may or may not like it. The key is you need to shut it off if you're going to put it on a track event. But as far as safety and overall, they've done a great job adding a lot of passive features. Those are ones that occur, God forbid you have an accident, and active ones that you know, things that you might notice every day, like ABS, but this also has a lot of safety features that you can turn on and shut off. So I give them a lot of credit for that. And safety, it's always been their thing. As far as I'm concerned from a safety standpoint, I'm going to give it a 9. What do you think?
I think so. I felt very secure. The seats, you feel tight on them.
Right.
So
they give you a big hug.
They do.
The front is great. The sides are excellent. Ground view camera. But out the back, the only limitation are the headrests, and the center one goes down, but the 2 other ones don't. And for visibility, it's good. It's not great, so I gave it a 9. There is nothing better, and I think you agree, than the virtual cockpit.
No, it is the best in the market.
Without question. I have not found anything better. Every brand uses this as a benchmark. You're looking at the gauges you can make larger, smaller. You can get a sport setting or the S setting. So it's for sport, their special S performance package. The center screen can be set up the same way. You can move that to your home setting, to whatever you need. Different settings, radio, media, phone, navigation, whatever that might be. Lots of settings. Actually, there's so many settings.
I remember when they introduced these gauges for the first time, they explained that they were focusing on real watches, high quality, to make sure the needles move the same way. I mean, it was incredible.
And you're a watch guy.
I'm a watch guy, so this is digital and I love it. So not usually, you do Apple, but I don't do Apple watches.
I know, you do real watches.
Real watches.
What's your favorite watch? I got a lot of them.
I got a lot of them, but right now I'm wearing this up.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, he gets a lot of great watch. If you're a watch aficionado and you like cool food and all the great travel, Al does a travel blog as well, and you get some killer numbers, I have to say. From a tech standpoint, I wish it had that second screen. You know, we drove the Q7, and one of the things I liked is it had that second screen, and I kind of miss it now.
I didn't miss it because for me this is a sport car, so
right.
I'm glad I don't have it. I don't want to have that many gadgets. I want to focus. It's
right.
man machine, so that's what I want.
A man machine. All the controls are really easy to use, and of course, as you work your way down from the center controls, from this great screen to the basic, I think this is pretty basic and easy to use system. Heated seats. You've got your climate control right here. Further down, you've got your drive select mode. Of course, you got comfort auto, dynamic, and individual. We're going to leave it in dynamic because that's my favorite, and we've driven it in all the modes. First thing I do is shut off that auto off because I hate that. You set it at a traffic light and it shuts off.
I don't know. I hate that too.
What do you save? A tablespoon of fuel? And this last button over here on the right will actually dim the screen or shut it off if that's what you wish. Further down, you've got a USB connection here, USB-C in the glove box. I'm really disappointed about this glove box, and we'll talk about that when we get to features through our Car Coach Reports ratings. For tech, I gave it a 9. Then we get to my favorite part. My favorite thing is seats. Why, you ask? Well, I like performance, but I think seating comfort's important. You're sitting,
Of course.
this is where you sit in your car. This is where you live in the car. So the interior has like so many important factors to consider. And I always tell people, if you're not comfortable in this seat, it's never going to get better. So one of the things I love about these seats, and of course it's an upcharge, is the massaging seats. Wave, knead, stretch. You can change the intensity levels based on what you want. You can stop it. There's heated seats as well. The only negative I found in the seat is there's no air-cooled seats.
No air-cooled seats. I mentioned that because, especially here, you need that.
Oh my gosh, these are black seats, even though it's a white car. I have to say, I'm kind of sweating sitting in these seats. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we had an air-cooled seat? I think they don't offer it with elk interior or this level of leather, because there's going to be little pinholes in it for the air cool to come through. But it would be nice if they had that. I think that would be a really nice touch. And that's something that I think you got to think about when you buy the seats and you choose your options. For seating comfort, though, it's really good. We're going to go to the second row, and we'll give you a rating, give you some information back there. The second row has a ton of legroom. Now, we have the seat set for me. I'm 5'8", so there's quite a bit of legroom on these new design seats, which I really like. Headroom is a little tight. I mean, if you're taller than me, you're going to start scuffing the roof. As far as shoulder room, it's good. Going into the center console, Looks like you've got typical storage. The cup holders are small. Obviously the design is cool. It's, you know, a little bit hokey because if you got a big water bottle, it's not going to fit. Unless you got one of those aluminum water bottles. It is all about recycling these days. Looking forward, you've got 2 vents. You've got adjustment for your fan, 2 charging ports, a USB, and a 12 volt. Then we got the netting. I wish it was matching in a car at this price point. A lot of vehicles are matching the material and putting an actual flap here, but this is good for kids because they're going to put all their crap in there anyhow. There's also a pull bar, which is good if you need to get out of this vehicle. It does have a lot of room, but overall, for seating, I gave it a 9. A lot of cool features on this car, except they're missing a few.
What are you missing?
Air-cooled seats, number 1, but we talked about that earlier. I am disappointed in this center console.
Me too, I say that. Open it, see how difficult it is.
It's not, first off, it's weird on the arm. It doesn't go right.
It's not safe.
Right, and there's wireless charging in here, which is fine, and minimal storage. You can put a pair of sunglasses in there. There's a USB-C charger that's fine. I don't know, I just feel like it's
not comfortable.
It's not. It's like awkward. I'd rather have an actual glove box. So that kind of disappointed me. Although the great features like real carbon fiber and everything is soft touch. The screen is big enough. I mean, all these things that I love about this car. There's a few things and features like the trunk is not power to close it. I mean, you're talking about a $50,000-ish car. Press a button, put a button in there for me. And then, of course, the sunroof to close is not power, it's manual. Does that need to be? No, but a lot of other vehicles in the category have it. There's 2 memory settings for the seats on the driver's side, nothing on the passenger side. Again, not necessarily a plus or a minus, but little details, I think, are what make people make their final decision.
Of course, I say that all the time.
Right, so I mean, you're driving all the competitors, and you're thinking, what do I buy? And there's a lot of them. I mean, Infiniti and Lexus and Acura, and then you've got Jaguar. I mean, there's so many cars in this category, and you start thinking, what am I missing? And now you got Genesis too.
That's
a tough one.
These people are bringing cars and all the people are Germans.
Right. They took all the German people from Audi, BMW, and Mercedes. They picked and chose a few of them.
Incredible.
You should check out the G70. It was a North American Car of the Year for 2019.
I love it.
And you can check that out up here. But I was really impressed overall with this car. Look at the features in this car compared to its competition. And for features, I gave it a 9. Design is so important when you're driving a German sports car. This is kind of a sports sedan, but some of the changes they've made is they've changed the grille design. Of course, you still have your S4 logo, and thank you for not making the Audi logo any bigger than it could be, because that's what they're doing with a lot of these manufacturers. They make their logos so big that it overpowers the front of the car. You can see that some of the design elements are pretty similar, but they changed the headlight design. The LED signature was designed and developed by Audi, and they have continued by making these really cool lines. Now, if you look deep into the headlights, there is an optional blue light, and you have to pay up for that. And that's supposedly laser high beam lights. That has not been approved here in the US. In Europe, they have it, so we're supposed to be getting it here. I'm really looking forward to that because you can see clearer, and it's really computerized, so it actually can adjust the lighting so that oncoming traffic doesn't get blinded. Now, if you look at this vehicle as a whole, one of my favorite things would have been the Sportback. This is not. This is designed as the sedan. The Sportback is one that's kind of like a hatchback, and that would be my favorite. I really like these new alloy wheels. These are 19-inch, and they're Bridgestone tires. Now, there are other wheel options, so make sure that you look to find the combination that works for you. They're offering different sizes, of course, as well. Love the big red brakes. It just makes a statement, especially against a nice white car. Again, that's part of design. And if you look down the sides, you can see they've made a few minor changes, something along the sill here. Nothing major, but overall the vehicle looks good, and in the back they've just changed the taillights to be LEDs. So for design, I gave it a 9. Quality is like critical when you purchase a car, because when you buy it, you want it to last a long time. And I've had Audis all the way back to 2000. But one of the things I've always been impressed with is the quality in the materials. And that is true both inside and out. The materials are top of the line. From the interior, looking at Alcantara, real carbon, real aluminum, real wood. That's fantastic, but you also want to look at like panel gaps and how things fit together, the fit and finish, the quality of those materials. Those are really important. The fact that they pick certain brands to work with really are important, especially when you're looking at under the hood. All of these details are what have a car last a long time. Of course, it's your responsibility to do the maintenance, but for quality, I gave it a 10. There's a lot of value in this car. You can get into an Audi S4 for $49,000. Of course, if you want the massaging seats and all the cool technology. Who doesn't want it? Do you need it? No. Do you want it? Yes. You want the Quattro. Of course, that's the only way it comes. This vehicle has great performance and good handling, but all that technology, you're going to push yourself up into that $58,000 range in order to get into the Prestige. Now, looking at the back of this, I have to say the taillights are really cool. They're LEDs. This is part of the new update on the design, and I love the wing. Is it needed? It depends if you put it on the track. It's good for keeping that rear end down at speed. Going into the trunk, automatically opens. It does not have a button to close it, by the way, so I think that's a little bit of a ding for me because I think a vehicle in this price range should have a button to close the trunk. The storage in here is pretty good enough for some pretty luggage, golf clubs, whatever. You should be totally fine for your everyday use, and I give them a lot of credit. And they've always had these little hooks underneath for carrying those plastic bags, whether they're yours and you use reusables or the store is still giving them to you. Overall, when it comes to total value for this vehicle, I think there's a really good value play here, especially when you're looking at some of the competitors. Of course, BMW, Mercedes, even Lexus, is pretty much everybody's in this category, that performance sedan. And yes, this is still a popular category. So for value, I gave it a 9. Now, overall, when you're looking at this vehicle and you total up all those scores and you look at what you're getting for your money, including this really cool dual exhaust that actually works, it's not fake dual exhaust, and it sounds good and it goes well, and it's going to have great resale value. These vehicles have always been #1 in resale value in the Audi lineup, although Q5 is right there with it. I gave it a total score of 91. Please follow Al Vasquez. He is also with me in the Audi Q7 review, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. He is killing it out there. He is the #1 person when it comes to car reviews in Spanish. Totally impressive. He's my favorite person to ride with, except for my co-host, but don't tell him that because Paul Bryan might get mad. We appreciate your support. I'm also on all those forms of social media at Lauren Fix, including TikTok. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Please put your comments down below and check out some of those other videos up there. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.